So, hey, I just wanted to chat for you for a second. I just realized, like, I usually, most people that I interview, I kind of know some things about, but I don't know that much about you.
Uh-oh.
The only thing I know for the most part is that you're friends with the Reeds, you're friends with Sherwood. Um, you had a dinner that one day at the SRC, I think it was, and I kind of Sherwood was like, talk to Jack, and then I started kind of learning more about you there. You seem like you really know a lot of people in the roofing industry. Is that right?
Yeah, I've been fairly lucky to connect with some of the big dogs, and then the big dogs introduce you to more big dogs. So I've been very good at networking and putting all the pieces and parts together. And once you get to know a few of them, it's just kind of a natural progression. So, yep.
Yeah, and so like I guess we're recording already, so let's just keep going,
Cool.
man. Yeah, and so 'cause this is starting to be really good.
Nice.
And yeah, so like I guess maybe tell us about how you kind of got into the roofing industry. Have you always been into? Well, what's the name of your company, and what do you do exactly?
I am the executive vice president for Skipton Claims Management. This is our 28th year as public adjusting. We're one of the originals. To
Wow.
start, my background I was a restoration contractor for around 20 years. I did roofing and dry downs, hurricanes, floods, tornadoes all around the country. And it got to the point where I couldn't, I got tired of State Farm and farmers and all the big boys running my business. So about 5 years ago, I decided the hell with this, and I made the big switch over. And ever since then, it's probably the best business decision I've ever made, was getting the hell out of the roofing and construction side, restoration side, becoming a PA. It's been a blessing for my family, for my personality, my health, my conscience, the whole 9 yards. So it's been great. So
And when you're
uh,
doing the restoration side, was it like kind of roofing primarily, or was it all kinds
we
of
did everything.
water mold,
I was a
everything?
GC. Yeah, we did
GC. Okay.
roofing, floods. I had flooring, drywall crews, cabinetry. We were building, shopping malls that were, rebuilding from tornadoes, and just hurricane work, just everything across the board. And that's a rough way to make a life, man. I'm not going to kid you. So
What was it about it that was really rough? Like, because, you went to Win the Storm recently and you see all
yeah.
the contractors and it seems like everybody's having a great time and stuff, but like underneath the surface, there's a lot of stuff. Like, are you talking about sort of the coordination of the materials, working with the suppliers, all the subcontractors involved, the long
Well,
hours, the employees, the capital
all of it,
needs?
man. I came. So I was a preferred vendor for literally all the big carriers in the country. I was on Crawford Connection. I was State Farm Premier. I was Farmers, one of their leading restoration guys. So it got to the point where I had so much work coming in from all the different insurance companies. They actually controlled what I did. They controlled my pricing. They controlled my scope of work. They controlled where I bought my stuff. That's hard enough, and then put that on top of it when you're running 400 or 500 jobs at once all over the country, and you're trying to get crews and guys, and you're doing work from Baltimore, Maryland, to Orlando, to Austin, to Sacramento, everywhere in between. It's a big, huge juggling act, and there's just part of the business is tough for all of us, and especially the roofing industry. There's not enough great roofers doing the actual work. I mean, getting the work's easy, right? The hard part for performing, even on our end, getting claims in is easy. The hard part is the grind of it all, and finding guys who are there to grind the work out. Same thing for roofers. I mean, getting roofs signed up are great, but the guys laying down that TPO and doing the hot mopping and you know nailing down those shingles, that's the difficult part. Finding quality people to do that. That's where all the manpower issues always been a huge problem in this industry. So, and the
Back
busier
in
we all
the
get, the harder it
restoration,
is.
yeah, and back in the restoration side, what kind of revenue are we talking about here? Like a yearly type thing?
Well, I was doing 25, 35 million,
Okay.
all the time. Sometimes the 25 million would cost me 30 million, but I didn't know that till a year or two later when the tax records came out. But yeah, it was the cool part. I would never be what I am now without going through all those struggles and heartaches and ups and downs. And one day we'd have $1 million in the bank, and the next day you'd have, I'd be looking for SpaghettiOs to eat, because you're always spending, 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 right?
Mhm.
You need a truckload of blowers, and in Houston, you go buy a truckload of blowers to get to Houston, and then you deal with that later. So
Hmm. Hmm.
The cash flow was always a huge concern, but
How bad did it
this has
get?
been
Did it kind of make you drive you to the point of like divorce or like your family kind of breaking down, or did it get that bad?
yeah. I mean, I was yeah, it did actually. Being married to, I mean, number one, I'm a Type A Gemini only child, so good luck with all that, right? Add the restoration world into that. It was quite challenging for my family. At the end of the day, though, we're all in a great place. My kids are killing it in college. My son graduates in May. My daughter graduates a year from May, so we're all in a great place. I've been divorced for a while, but
Hmm.
that's been a blessing in disguise as well. That's all going very well. I've moved on and in a great relationship now with someone who understands the business I'm in and is very supportive of it. So,
Yeah.
life is a big journey, man,
Yeah,
and
definitely,
some
man.
days suck, right?
It's crazy. So
Yeah.
then, okay, so then you did the restoration. Was
Mhm.
there a point where you were kind of like you had a light bulb go off and you're like, you know what, I got to get out of this business? Because transitioning from what you contracting to something else, anything, I've kind of like I haven't necessarily made that like I haven't made that a huge goal of mine to transition, but like the more I get into all this media stuff, the more it kind of definitely makes me think about it. And so,
Yeah.
but like a lot of people that I know that I've interviewed have attempted to transition, and the roofing business is just too sticky. For you, you kind of did it, right? What was the key
Yeah.
there?
Well, I mean, the good news is I knew Exactimate. I know how adjusters operate. I got the business. So all we did was take insurance claims in. So the process of being a PA and being a restoration contractor are very similar. Except I didn't know anything about the policy. I would just get a call to go drive a freaking building. We didn't have to worry about all that stuff, right? That's somebody took care of that on the other side. So um, the transition, I probably had 70% of the business already knew. The last 30% I learned as I went. It was I don't want to say it was easy. It's been a lot of work, but my personality and my drive and my work ethic has come a long way. It's a very good fit for what we do. I mean, my phone blows up. It's 18 hours a day, man, which is great.
Even these
But
days?
yeah, it's nonstop. It's been.
Wow.
I mean, I'm getting texts now like, "Hey, can you look at a bowling alley in Mesa, Arizona?" Um,
Okay.
and
So
my phone,
you
yeah,
travel
it's
you
crazy.
travel around looking at different claims and whatnot.
Yeah, so I have a team behind me. So the bigger stuff, I'll go in and deal with it myself. But I have groups of guys I've met, and we have employed around the country that handle the days and days out activity of the claims. But yeah, it's a lot of moving parts, man. I think last year we handled about 600 claims total, anywhere from 30,000 to tens of millions of dollars. So anywhere in between.
And are
So
you are
it's
you just strictly PAing the claim, or do you also?
yeah.
We met some people at Win the Storm who do PA, and they actually are act as like supplementing company as well. Is that not really something that you do?
No, we are strictly a public adjusting firm. That's all. I'm a big guy about sticking your lane, man. It gets a little hairy, a little sticky when you're doing stuff that you're not number one licensed to do, and number one, I'm only good at one thing. I don't want to be. I can't spread myself too thin. I mean, being a PA, it's very rewarding. It's one hell of a great living if you do it right. So I'm all about sticking in my lane and keep my head down. I'll let the guys who. I mean, there's some really great supplement companies out there, and I
Mm,
worked with a lot of them when we first stuff back and forth.
mm,
I wouldn't touch that job with a 10-foot pole. I just,
mm.
the PA stuff is great. I love getting out and look at the big claims, and that's kind of our area of expertise. Well, we're great at that. We're not great at supplementing.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I don't want to be a roofing contractor anymore. I don't want to be a restoration guy. We are strictly PAs, strictly
And
100%
when you
PAs.
is skipped in like, did you start that from scratch?
No, actually, I've known David, the owner, we both started in the industry a while ago together. About in the late '80s, we both kind of started together in the industry. I've known David and his family, forever. So we talked several years before I moved. I made the transition about about me coming over, and once again, it was one of the, I just pulled the band-aid off, got divorced, started a new career, and here we go, right? So
Wow,
it was all within a
wow.
few months of each other. So and once again, sometimes it's better jump in and just go. So it's
And but
worked out great for
you
everyone.
started as a straight up public adjuster, and you had
Yeah,
enough knowledge to kind of like talk to some contractors, say, "I'm going to help you
yeah.
out. We're going to get
I
this
signed
claim
a
taken care
fire
of."
my first day as a public adjuster. So
Okay.
yeah,
And then from
yeah.
there, you've been growing the team, or you've been growing. I guess it sounds like for the last, how long have you been in with Skipton?
I started my fifth year back in September of this, so about 5.5 years. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been a one hell of a ride, and we're busy, and it's I have a great team around me. That's the key. I mean, once again, what I do, bringing claims in is a piece of cake. The guys on the phone 15, 16 hours a day, the ones drawing out sketches and getting the diagrams and writing the estimates, and those are the guys who are behind the scenes that really they make us shine. Those are the grinders, man.
And is that kind of
Those
how
are,
you work it? You're sort of have you kind of are the contact person with the
yeah,
contractor. You've got sort of the call them the grinders in the background who are calling
yep,
insurance companies, kind of figuring things out. And you're sort of like more of the face person, the point of contact. And so we like if I have a claim, I'm guessing you're working on big claims, right? Like large loss type stuff.
yeah. So I mean, I take every claim in myself, and I talk to the insured. I get them on contract, and my job is to basically put my team that I'll pick the team I want to have do the claim because everybody has strengths, weaknesses, sizes, geography. It all comes into play. I'll assign the claim to those team members, kind of make sure everything's flowing as well as it can, and then on the bigger ones, of course, I'm boots on the ground with the guys doing my thing, and that's when the fun stuff hits when you have these tornado or hurricane rolls in and I got 20 guys out there. We're just ripping through stuff. That's when it's fun. So,
Wow, that's crazy, man.
yeah.
So what are some big storms you've worked in the last, I don't know, 6 months or so? Just
Oh
everything? You've been
God,
like putting,
Sally, you name it. We were all of them. So
okay.
we had the retro about a year ago and it hit in Iowa. And then the three large hurricanes right in a row in between a bunch of hailstorms. It's been absolute nuts. I mean, none of us have really stopped in a long time. So
I feel
it's
like your
been one hell
business
of
is very underserved. It's an underserved market. Would you
oh
agree?
man, yeah, 100%. I mean, only I think the stat is anywhere between 3 and 5% of all the claims in the country either go to litigation or go to a public adjuster,
Mm,
which means 95% of the claims are probably being underpaid and underrepresented, and that's what the insurance companies want, of course. So, but we're trying to do our share to do the right thing for our people. We're working hard and getting these claims bought and paid for. So we started doing the coolest thing I've done the last year or so is we started training other PAs.
okay.
We've had five training sessions, four in Scottsdale, one in Tampa about a month ago with
Mm,
Merlin, Chip Merlin, and those guys. And we've trained over 120 public adjusters
mm.
and restoration guys just to kind of teach them how the hell we do it. I'm not saying we have the Bible or anything, but after 27 years, we
You're
made a
training
lot
new
of mistakes.
PAs besides your own PAs, like people in the industry
Yeah,
to be
yep.
helpful.
We are training our competitors, man.
Okay.
Because once again, dude, there is so much work out there for all of us. I never see our competitors on the ground. We're never chasing the same stuff. There's so
And
much work for all
just
of
out of
us.
curiosity, are you guys hiring right now?
Yeah, send me your resume, bro. Um,
So I'm assuming, I mean, all jokes aside, you are hiring, it sounds like, and there could be some contractors out there who are like, you know what?
yeah,
I love his story. I can relate. Like, I kind of want to, I know claims left and right. I love to work with a company that I trust to do public adjusting.
yeah. We can't get enough good. I could probably add 10 people today if we. I always look for the right fit. Hiring warm bodies isn't great. I need somebody that
Yeah.
passion's a big thing. We can teach them all the crap behind the scenes.
Hmm.
I need work ethic and passion and want to make a difference. That's what this thing's all about. If you have those,
Mm.
we can make it work. Because this
Wow.
is it's a hard business, man. It's
Oh
not.
gosh, it seems really hard, man. So we work with
We
a public firm here in Denver, because
okay.
I own a roofing company here in town. It's a very
Yep.
small one, and so we come across stuff, and so
Sure.
we send it, and I see what they go through, man. I mean, it is heartache after heartache working with the adjusters, and then the reinspection, the inspection, the reinspection, the third, fourth reinspection. They
Yeah.
want to go back and look at just one more thing, and maybe they'll pay it, maybe
Delay,
they
deny,
don't.
defend, man. They want to wear us out. That's what they do. So it's a
Yeah.
dude. It's a lot of Red Bull. And it's a lot of sleepless nights, but it's well worth it. I mean, it's
Hmm.
what we do. It's important stuff. What we all do, right? We're all fighting for the little guy out there. And every roofing contractor, every restoration guy, every PA, all the attorneys I know, we're all. It's cool because the last 3 or 4 years, the industry's really come together quite a bit. We're not all at each other's throats. I mean, I the other PAs. I mean, I talk to them all the time, and we're friends. We'll have dinner and beers together, and just talk because once again, we never run into each other. There's so much work for all of us.
Mhm.
We're not banging heads. We're actually trying to help each other do better. Because if the industry gets this much better across the board, that's a few $1 billion back in our pocket, right? So
Yeah.
we're trying to do it right, and we train like I said, over 100 of our competitors, and I'm cool with it. It's I'm trying to bring the industry up to where it's never been before, and there's a bunch of us doing that, and it's just a cool thing. I love it, and the center, even the attorneys, man, they're starting to communicate and work together and winning cases, and they're teaching each other how they won. And once again, we're trying to make little dents as we go. It's really important that the industry's changed so much the last 3 or 4 years. So, and Win the Storm is a big part of that, right? Because we've all met there and grew relationships out of that thing. So that's how you and I met. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, Win the Storm's been awesome, and I
yeah,
think that what's been interesting, Win the Storm at the last over the last I don't know 4 or 5 years since I started going. There's been a lot more public adjusters on the scene and a lot more
yep,
attorneys on the scene, especially this time around, man. There's been, I feel like attorneys are really getting more involved at this point with the whole claims process, which I think is good. It's going to help those people, the people who kind of need it, get compensated correctly so they can get their house fixed, basically, right? I mean, that's all we're really talking
right.
about, just fixing the house the right way. So yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised to see more attorneys kind of getting
Oh, it's great.
involved and getting more PAs involved, and I think it's all really good for the industry. So Jack, let's I'm going to kind of wrap it, and I didn't realize that you are like actively recruiting people who might be interested in entering the industry.
Please, your
So
God, send me a resume. Yeah. Yeah, we
yeah,
have
and I
work
mean,
from literally, we have work in 34, 31, 34 states right now. We're Carolinas, Florida, Texas, Colorado, Illinois. I'm in Denver all the time. Arizona. I'm in California this week. So we are everywhere, and we need help everywhere. I mean, I got a claim today in Connecticut, for God's sake. So
okay, yeah.
yeah, help us help you, man. Whatever we need to do, bro.
Yeah,
So
how would I mean can so my I feel like people can just call you straight to your phone, text you, be like, hey, I've got a claim, or hey, I've got someone who wants to get in. Is it like that?
all the
Are
time.
you that like involved with this business? You're like that personalized.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
I'm probably. I mean, I'm in the office by 6:15, 6:20 every day. My phone's going to about 8 o'clock at night. It's
Hmm.
difficult on during dinner with my girlfriend and my kids, but we do the best we can to manage it. And, I'm very passionate about what we do and about this business and making it better for all of us. The money's the easy part. The money's going to come. You work hard, do the right thing, surround yourself with great people. The money's going to come. So
Hmm. Hmm.
it just kind of raises, what's that saying? Rising seas raises all boats. That's kind of what we're trying to do, man. So
Yeah. Okay. And so, how would they get a hold of you? Just text you, call you, email you,
yeah,
type
dude,
thing.
my cell number is 480-766-6565. You can email me, jack@skiptoninc.com. I pride myself on getting these calls done and quickly and returning people's calls and text right away. It's a big thing of what I do is respond properly and efficiently. That it makes a big difference for people. So
Absolutely, it's huge. And so
yeah,
and we'll put that in the descriptions once we kind of get
right
this
on.
edited and posted and whatnot. And yeah, and we'll chat one of these days because we're
Yeah,
kind
dude.
of, working on some more stuff. I'm kind of like working on a weekly show that is a little more not even a podcast. It's just like a full on weekly show, and
Oh,
we're
cool.
looking for people who sort of align with our to have more featured guests on. And I have a co-host in mind, and that it would be really amazing for it. So we're still kind of like working
Oh,
that
awesome.
out. Yeah, yeah, we're still working that out. So yeah, we could be in touch here soon.
That'd be great.
I
Yeah, I mean,
feel.
and the more stuff we have out in the public for all of us, we're all doing these podcasts and videos. The more stuff out there, the better, because it's gonna once again we just want to raise it a little bit, man. That's a few billion, just that much. So
Well,
I,
I
I
heard
I
someone
appreciate what
that
you guys are doing too.
thanks, man. I heard someone today talk about how the roofing industry is known as being sort of like shady and seedy and stuff, and it was so interesting because like I don't see the roofing industry. I mean, I'm in it, so like to me it
Yeah,
seems like not like that at all. And I kind of feel like we should just stop talking about it that way. Like the roofing industry is not the shady, seedy thing. Like
no,
it is actually a really cool business.
I mean, there's shitty roofers, there's shitty PAs, there's shitty doctors, there's shitty everything. So what happens is that 5% of the crap is the one everybody talks about, right? They don't talk about the 95% of us that are doing it right, getting our bills paid, working hard, paying our taxes, doing the right thing. It's that 5% that you look on the internet and all you hear about on TV is those, Joe Bull roofer took Mrs. Smith's $8,000 check and ran away. Well, it happens, right? It's it happens. But
Yeah.
the guys I know and the guys I work with, the guys you mentioned beginning of the podcast,
Mhm.
the Paul Reeds and Jonathan Sherwoods and the Sam Struthers, and these are the guys doing it 1,000% right, and it's trickling down.
Mhm.
I've never had a problem with any of these guys. So even the smaller guys are doing it right and they're paying their bills, doing the right thing. There's very few that aren't, and those guys, they come and go, man, like anything. So the
Yeah,
cream rises to the top. It's part of it, right? The shitty
absolutely.
PAs are out of business. Yeah, it happens. So
Yeah, absolutely. Cool,
right,
Jack. Well, thank you again. And yeah, we'll be in touch and enjoy the
cool.
rest of the day. Thank you again for coming on the show. And yeah,
All right,
we'll
man.
talk to you soon.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Have a
All
great
right, you got it.
afternoon.
All right, you too. See you.
Thanks,
Bye.
bro. Bye bye.
That's our show today, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, review, all that good stuff. We look forward to seeing you in the next one and can't wait to introduce my next guest.